Another what if to do after this. What's going on, guys? Lotus What Ifs here, back with another video. This is part 3 and possibly the final part of Unparalleled. So yeah, let's get started. So last I left off, Deku heard a voice that said, "Oh, it's you. I've been looking for you everywhere." Deku turns around to see a brown-skinned, rabbit-eared, and tailed woman, and her name happens to be Miracle, as she trudges at Deku while Deku was turning around to say, "What do you want?" As basically Deku counters, drops her leg down and presses her against a wall. "They're not gonna do it, calm down," as he, says in a menacing tone, "Don't you ever dare attack me anytime I seem vulnerable, because even if I am, I could still kill you in a swift second." As Miracle, from just being just taken down, she kind of fell in love with Deku. Because to her, she'd rather be dominated than actually dominate her partner. And this is actually the first time that anyone has dominated her. I know this sounds kind of weird, since most of y'all are probably thinking, yeah, but what about all the other heroes above her? Can't them niggas dominate? No, we're not going to talk about those. Disgusting. You nasty bastards. You pricks. Ew. But anyways, Deku told her to leave, and she left but didn't leave. She just stayed around the corner to see Deku talking with Nezu, telling Nezu that he'll be coming to UA, but he has 3 conditions. As Nezu says, "What are those 3 conditions?" Deku says, "Well, first of all, I don't have to wear the uniform." As Nezu says, "Alright, we can let that slide." As he says, "Second, when I need to leave, anytime I want to leave or when I need to leave. Doesn't matter when, where, or what it is, I will leave whenever I want to." As Nezu says, "Seems fair since you already have your own company." Yeah. As Nezu says, "What is your 3rd condition?" As Deku says, "You know what, I'll leave that for later. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal anyways." As Nezu says, "Alright." As he says, I'll see you on Monday." As Deku says, "Yeah, sure." Because Nezu puts him in the recommendation exam. And Deku, he passes the recommendation exam. Why? Because he does it another day after, Class 1A. See, Class 1, take in mind, it was currently like a Thursday. Class 1A did their entrance exam on a Saturday. Deku did his on Sunday. Because Deku, he was a little too bored. So, yeah. So, Deku, he comes in on Monday wearing whatever he wants, which is this. As basically everybody are looking around and stuff like that as he goes inside the class, and the almighty Tenya Ida sees him and starts talking about, "Oh, where's your uniform?" and stuff like that. As Deku smacks some sense into Ida and says, "Buddy, I don't have to wear a uniform." The principal says it's fine. As Nezu says, "Alright." Now we skip to actually an hour after Izuku left after talking with Nezu. This is a flashback. As Nezu says, "Alright, you can come out now." As Miracle steps out and says, "Make me a teacher." As Nezu says, why?" As Miracle says, "Doesn't matter, make me a teacher, especially his teacher." As Nezu says, "But he already has a teacher." As Miracle says, "Assistant teacher." As Nezu says, "Okay, I guess." As then she just walks off. And Nezu's kind of confused about what's going on. He doesn't know what happened, because he didn't see the whole fight with them in the beginning. All he knows is that, she was just waiting around the corner for something for some odd reason. So, yeah, I'm going real fast with this. So, basically, Deku, he's just sleeping in the class. Ida's trying to get him up, but, your boy Deku got a soundproof barrier around him. So, Ida not getting past that. So, basically, So basically the bell rings, they sit down, Aizawa comes in. As Aizawa says, "Alright class, we have a new assistant teacher this year. I'd like you to welcome Pro Hero Miracle." As Miracle comes in and Deku looks up and he sees none other than the rabbit girl, and Deku says, "Oh, come on." As Deku just gets up and he walks out the class, as Miracle says, "Hey, he can't walk out the class." As Aizawa says he has full permission to do so. As Miracle says, that's odd." As basically Deku just walks off, and the class is wondering what just happened. And Miracle, she kind of knows why, because he probably didn't want to see her after what she did on Sunday. No, not Sunday, on Thursday. Yeah. So So, Deku, he just went home for a few minutes. He just went home. He got something to eat. He played a game real quick. Like, he paused time for those 30 minutes. He didn't just stay home in regular time. Nah, he stopped time. And as Deku, he went back to the school and he was like, okay, I'm back. As Aizawa says, right on time. I was just explaining that we have a quirk assessment exam, right? As Aizawa looks and says, how do you know? Deku says, don't worry about that. As Aizawa says, alrighty then. As he tells them everything, and basically, that's how it is. As Aizawa tells them everything, and they go to the locker room, since Deku's changing and shit like that. Momo, she's already dating him, so when most of the girls tried to peep at Deku, Momo, she made a stick, jammed that shit through the door, through the hole, hitting Mina's eye in the process. Yes, great quality. Nah, I'm gonna be saying something serious here. It's about an anime, not about my hero, but it's about Bomb's anime, Tower of God. Now, I understand you all must be thinking, why am I talking about another anime in my what ifs? This is just a suggestion. Wouldn't you like to see the animation that's in Gada High School in Tower of God? Because currently Tower of God's animation is kind of ass. It's lacking. It might as well not be an animation. That's my suggestion. All right, then back to the story. So, anyways, I know I'm going fast. I'm sorry because I have another what if to do, and I'm actually excited for that what if actually. So, yeah. So Deku, he does that, and he doesn't need to put on the gear. He just stands there and watches the boys change. He watches the boys change because he doesn't want to look suspicious to everybody else on the outside. So he just walks out wearing the same thing, and he goes to the training ground as Mirako sees him not wearing the gym uniform, and she says, "Hey, uniform." As Deku says, Nezu says, "I could wear uniform. I don't have to wear uniform." As Mirako, she's kind of sad by this because she wanted to see his abs. Like, remember what I said? Deku was toned, real toned. He just built different. So yeah. So everybody does the test as normal, but Deku, he just too big body. Like the ball is still flying. Deku, he got infinity for everything else. Actually, he broke the machines. He kind of broke the machines. The speed machine, the machine for the side-to-side jumps. He kind of broke them all. So, Aizawa would practically say, "Alright, so infinity it is, I see." As basically, Deku says, yeah, it is. Alright then. As basically, Deku actually had to recreate those guys with his materials and redo the test over to make sure it was infinity, and he was right, it was infinity. So yeah. So now we skip to the USJ. Everything goes as per normal, but like immediately when they get down there, Deku jumps down and he pushes Aizawa back, making him sit the fuck down. As he proceeds to, well, smack some villains around with his bare hands. And then he uses Buddha's palm, slaps them away. Goes to Kurogiri, closes the thing on his neck, putting that nigga in a vulnerable state, and then knocking that nigga out. He kills the Nomo immediately. Yeah, the first thing he noticed was the Nomo. He killed the Nomo. Shigaraki trying to run away, but Deku grabbed Shigaraki and, gave him the violet handshake. Kinda like the handshake that a big nigga would give to a small nigga at full force. Which is lifting that nigga up and slamming him on the ground multiple times. Which causes Shigaraki to have shattered bones. More specifically, his ribs, his head, and his arms. And his legs as well. His kneecaps are especially fucked up. And yeah. So, Deku just drags Shigaraki up the stairs and he says, "Alright then, let's go." As everybody is so confused about what just happened before their very eyes, because in just a few minutes, a whole group of none other than at least 5,000 villains was just taken down and had the shit beaten out of them by one person, who wasn't even trying. As Momo says, "Oh dear." As Deku is just walking up and Momo grabs his shoulder and says, "So what are you gonna do with him?" As Deku says, "I don't know. He seems fun to play with." As Momo says, "Fun to play with? What do you mean?" As he says, "Well, he plays video games. So I want to know if he can challenge me." As Momo says, "You know damn well that nobody in this world can challenge you, and yet you want to have a challenge?" As Deku says, "I do have challenges. It's called myself. Remember, cloning ability." As she says, "Ah, right. well, have fun, I guess. As he says, yeah, tell All Might I took the main villain with me. He can take everything else. Aizawa, about that smoky guy. I wouldn't take that smoke off of him if I were you. As Aizawa was confused about what's going on, he says, what do you mean? As Aizawa says, just don't do it. Alright? So, yeah, I'll be going now. As Aizawa, he still ain't listen. Like, the class still do their trainings at the USJ. Aizawa still ain't listen, though. He did that, and, someone was crying like shit. Because, well, Oboro, his best friend, was that villain. But it didn't last long anyways. Oboro went back to being dead, and I'm joking. Deku brought him back to life when he got the time. So Deku, he usually plays with Shigaraki. Shigaraki, he's still in a cast, but he could move his fingers and stuff like that. And Shigaraki, there was actually a time where Deku actually had a serious talk with Shigaraki. Shigaraki talked about how All Might wasn't there to save him and stuff like that. As Deku, opened up his eyes, as he says, then why are you blaming it on All Might? As Shigaraki's confused about, what do you mean? As Deku says, you should be blaming other villains than All Might. As Shigaraki says, no, he's the number one hero, he should save everyone. As Izuku says, yeah, but you need to remember, everybody has their own limitations. For example, All Might, the reason he couldn't save you was actually because of your supposed master. As Shigaraki, his eyes widen, he says, what do you mean? As basically, Deku explains the whole All for One and All Might the first time, and how, well, the whole respiratory and stomach were, well, got their shit blown up by All for One's punch. And Shigaraki, he's kind of pissed off by this, because he did not know about this. And he and his master, his supposed master, or All for One, would always tell him everything. As Deku says, what? I didn't know about this. Then I was blaming the wrong person all along? Deku says, yeah, you should have been blaming All for One. As he says, but what's your quirk? As Deku says, I have many quirks. I have All for One, One for All. As he's like, what do you mean you have All for One, One for All? As Deku says, I even have your quirk. As Shigaraki says, that's impossible. Nobody can have my quirk. As Deku says, that's not it. Well, I do have your quirk and many other quirks. I also have abilities that should not even be in existence right now, but shit, there they are. Alright, as Shigaraki said, he doesn't ask no more questions. He's just shocked about the whole revelation that was just given to him by Deku and stuff like that. And, he's just contemplating. He was just like in a depressed mood for like 5 minutes and shit like that. And he was so confused, he didn't know what's going on. As Deku, he already noticed the whole thing with, the mind manipulation with All for One. And Deku, while Shigaraki was sleeping at night, he actually took it off. But here's one thing, there was also a chip inside him which Deku removed without any surgery, so don't worry about that, he just teleported it out. With the ability, a port from In Another World with my smartphone. Yes, if you know about that anime, then you know. If you don't, you don't. Alright, so yeah, he used the port and, the chip came out. As basically, Deku, he scanned the chip and stuff like that, and he put inside the chip a message for All for One. If I ever see you come near this kid again, I will kill you and make sure that your body is not found. As All for One, he's not scared about this, because he doesn't know who it was. He's just thinking it's some random nobody who actually managed to get the chip out, and he doesn't know what's going on. Now, he couldn't get a glimpse of Deku because there was a computer in the Nomu. But the Nomu was immediately killed. Like, that was the first nigga that was killed within the portal. So he couldn't see who killed the Nomu. Nor could he see who they were fighting. So all those villains are in jail and shit like that. And then we skip to what's next? The UA Sports Festival. Everything goes as per normal. Deku gets first place, except for this time, cavalry battle. Deku has no one on his team. He just floating in the air. Shigaraki apologized to the heroes for what he did and stuff like that, so they forgave him. But they said he'll have to be in house arrest, and Deku says, yep, he can stay at my house. As basically Momo says, but like, are you sure? As Deku says, yeah, it's fine. He can't hurt anybody in the house. As he says, okie dokie then. So basically, cavalry battle happens. Deku's just floating in the air, just playing around like a dumbass. And hold on. This is surprisingly going faster than expected. So yeah, he's just playing around in the air like a dumbass. Shigaraki's watching and cheering Deku on. And basically, Bakugo's just been trying to get Deku. Like, bro, he's been exploding trying to get Deku multiple times. So has Todoroki. Todoroki and Deku aren't friends in this. I wouldn't say they're acquaintances, but Todoroki still feels like he's stronger than Deku and shit like that, even though he saw Deku's power. And it's basically the two are trying to get Deku, but like, to no avail. So they're failing miserably, and it's kind of funny to Deku. He's just laughing at them, like abnormally laughing, like to the point where his laugh sounds distorted, and many others, like squeaky, childish, distorted, like an adult, an old grandpa, and even a kid. As basically, they're just hearing this, and they're kind of confused. Like, is he laughing or just plotting something? As basically, that was just laughing his ass off like a crazy buffoon. And basically, he decides, okay. I'll actually try this time. As you know, Son Deku goes, teleports in front of Bakugo, slaps a motherfucker out of him, knocking him out. He still lands on his team, because of, well, your boy Sero and Todoroki. Todoroki tried to get on top of him with ice, but Deku, don't play that. He slapped Todoroki too, knocking that man's out. And remember, Momo was on Todoroki's team. As Momo says, as he says, Izuku, what the hell? As Izuku says, he had it coming. He aimed for me. He should know. There's consequences. As Momo, she's in her head like, oh boy. So, yeah, your boy Deku just built different. So, he does that. Now, the 1v1 battle, Shinso got clapped immediately. Everybody else got clapped like in the anime, except for Todoroki got clapped this time instead of Deku. So, yeah, Todoroki tried to use that fire move and stuff like that. But Deku, he just tanked it like a big body. So, like I said, your boy Deku, he just built different. He just tanked it. He just stood there, let the ice freeze him, and got hit with that fire. Everybody thought he was dead until Deku walked out that smoke. He was like, oh my god, that's so weak. As he proceeds to go in front of Todoroki and slap a motherfucker out of him. And Endeavor watching this is kind of pissed. As how dare you slap my son and stuff like that. Charges at Deku with that, and he gets bitch slapped too. Sent flying. Like I said, Deku built different. He slapped Todoroki, slapped Endeavor, sent them niggas flying. And yeah, now we skip to the Bakugo fight. Bakugo didn't last long either, so he just charged at Deku. Deku charged all those explosions for at least 5 minutes until he was like, alright, I'm bored. He slapped him, got first place on Bakugo, knocked out. Todoroki knocked out. Endeavor knocked out. So Deku just stood there on the podium, just that one man's. So yeah, now it's the training camp arc. Yeah, I'm skipping a lot of things. No. I Island. Yeah, Deku goes to I Island. He met Melissa. He invented some shit with her. Yeah, he helped her improve on that gauntlet and stuff like that. Who did I say had one for all again? Who do I have? Oh yeah, Bakugo. He told her not to give it to him because he's kind of a cunt. And she understood and she was like, okay, as he still helped her fix it and stuff like that and make it better. So yeah, the whole Wolfgang nigga attacked, but it didn't last long. Immediately when he stepped inside that Natorium, Deku was actually invited by Melissa's dad to come to the party. So Deku, he wasn't really affected by the whole binds and stuff like that, so he broke them immediately, got in front of Wolfgang, dragged that nigga by the hair, and he was like, let's have a chat outside. As Wolfgang was trying to use his quirks to stop Deku, but he saw that his quirks weren't working. Why? Because man's Deku has Aizawa's quirk as well. He dragged this man outside and he continued to beat the living crap out of him until this man was begging for his life. As man's Deku was like, alright then, to jail you go, as he throws him in jail. Next is the training camp arc. Training camp arc happens and Deku legitimately just bodies Muscular, Dabi, Toga. Like, they were still looking for Shigaraki. They don't know where he is, but like, they just scared. So Deku just bodied all of them and shit like that. And he dragged them to his house, put them next to Shigaraki, who was currently sleeping. Shigaraki woke them up later, and he explained what happened and shit like that. And they were kind of surprised by the revelation that Shigaraki got, and it was like, whoa, shit, that man's over there was trying to manipulate us. Well, damn, we fucked up. And yeah, that's basically what happened. He dragged twice as well as Mustard, and yeah, as you know, Deku, he put Muscular in jail because that man was too far gone. He just went there to just kill. So yeah. So, yeah, we skipped to the all-for-one fight. Like, you really thought I was gonna do the 9 fight. 9 ended real quick, and before 9 even became a thing, he died. No, All For One's gonna die, so there won't be a 9. So yeah. Deku kills All For One because All For One did that same fight with All Might near his house again. And Deku actually got pissed this time, real pissed, to the point where he didn't even have patience. Man just went to All For One, stabbed him in the heart, pulled that heart out, squeezed that shit, and then just walked off. As All Might's just wondering what the hell just happened. As Deku says, I'm not having it with him today because this is the last and final time I'm asking y'all, stop coming near my house to fight. As Deku just walked off to his house and Shigaraki and the boys was playing the game, and Toga, she fell in love with Villain Deku's clone. Villain Deku's clone, yeah. Yeah, Villain Deku. She fell in love with Villain Deku, so yeah, they're a thing now. So yeah, that's basically what happened, and I guess that's why I'm gonna be ending it off for the whole series, cause like I'm impatient as hell. I'll probably be doing a redo of this part, but like I just had to do it real quick because I had another what if to do, and I'm gonna be doing it right after I post this. So yay! All right then. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Unparalleled Part 3, the final. No, not finished yet. We skipped 2 years later. Deku did it with Mirako and Momo. Mirako, he finally accepted Mirako, and they started dating. Momo was okay with it, and they had kids in the future and stuff like that. Deku became #1 hero and stuff like that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye. Bye, my little stars.